companies, at least in California, that every little bit counts.
Starbucks employee Douglas Troster filed the suit years ago, claiming he should be paid for locking up and setting the alarm after he clocked out. Traditionally, employers are not on the hook for minimal work under what's called the de minimis doctrine, but the state high court says employees should not be expected to work for free, no matter how little time the work takes to do. How this affects the labor costs for Starbucks and other companies in the state could be significant, and it may affect the price of your next latte.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says he does not support an effort by House conservatives to impeach Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, saying lawmakers should not be so cavalier with the process. Facebook lost about $119 billion in market value the day after the company's CFO told shareholders they would be focusing on making privacy their priority. Stocks closed mixed, the Dow adding 113, the S&P slipped by 9, the Nasdaq lost 80. I'm Barbara Cusack.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-590-7516. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-590-7516. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-590-7516. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-590-7516. 800-590-7516.
It's time now for your LeGrand Ride weather forecast. In LeGrand tonight, a low of 54 degrees with mostly clear skies. For tomorrow, a high near 94 degrees with plenty of sunshine. In Baker City tonight, mostly clear conditions too, low near 56 degrees. And for tomorrow, sunny and hot conditions with a high near 93. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. For information on who we are and all we do for the community, please explore our website at grh.org.
Grand Ronde Hospital. Big city medicine with a hometown touch.
McDonald's McCafe frozen lemonades are the perfect way to escape. If your heart is racing, chill out with a frozen classic lemonade. Grab some excitement with a frozen strawberry lemonade. And when you want a little fun, let loose with both. McCafe frozen lemonades are back at McDonald's. And right now, any small McCafe drink is just $2 on McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu. And a small McCafe hot coffee is just $1. Where will your sip take you? Excludes iced coffee. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with combo meal.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care. I ever get back, so let's root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Johnny Ballgame.
All right, let's get this thing going. Hour number 2, Sports Talk Radio, the Johnny Ballgame Show, brought to you again by Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. For those folks who have ESPN Plus, the Edmonton Eskimos are getting ready to face the Montreal Alouettes. Johnny Manziel, I don't know if he makes his debut tonight. He was just traded, on Sunday? But they're playing tonight, and I don't know if Manziel, we will see. You'll see him eventually. Oh, they didn't just give up 2 first-round picks, even though they're Canadian first-round picks, and apparently they're not worth much. I don't know. 2 first-round picks, though? Oh, Johnny Football's going to play for that team this year. Text messages coming in on the Northwest Furniture and Mattress text line. Appreciate you guys. Johnny, how did you leave out Matthew Stafford when it comes to quarterbacks under the most pressure this year? I left out Matthew Stafford because, look, even though, the Lions, and honestly, okay, this has actually been by far the best era of Lions football since, Barry, okay? Since Rasputin, Wayne Fonts, Eric Kramer, Rodney Stinking Pete, and Barry. Herman Moore. I've interviewed Herman Moore a couple times. He's a good dude. I've never been able to get him on this show, though. He won't respond to my messages anymore. I don't know why. Anyway, The Lions have been over 500 3 times in the last 4 years, okay? And the one time they weren't, they were 7-9. Matthew Stafford isn't in any pressure. Like, of course, look, they're all under pressure. But this is not a make-or-break year for Matthew Stafford. Guy threw 29 teeters last year, 10 picks, 4,400 yards. He does that annually. Completed 66% of his passes last year. Matthew Stafford had a great year. They need to find someone who can run the ball. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher in, 5 years? Who was the last? Was it Reggie Bush? No, was Reggie Bush a Lion? Why am I thinking that? Anyway, it was a long time ago. It was like 2013, the last time the Lions had a 100-yard rusher in a game. I want to say that's the longest streak in the history of the league, and I believe it was Reggie Bush in 2013. Anyway, no, Stafford's not honestly, you think if the Lions got rid of Matthew Stafford, you don't think there'd be interest? Every stinking team in the league who wants a quarterback would be all over him. You don't think the Dolphins would love to have Stafford? The Jaguars get Matthew Stafford down there with that defense and Leonard Fournette? No, Stafford's not under a ton of pressure, bro. Look, I mean, I'm not saying he's setting the world on fire. But no, dude, Matthew Stafford is not under, hey, if you don't ball out this year, Stafford, you're going to be a backup. No. I appreciate the text, though. I just don't put Matthew Stafford in the company of a Blake Bortles, of a Joe Flacco, of a Ryan Tannehill. Possibly a Jameis Winston, too. Stafford's got that gig there in Motown for a while. I have teams. I made a list, all right? Yeah, I made a list. I made a list of teams that I think will disappoint this year. Teams that most folks out there, a lot of football fans think will have a pretty good year and will be a little disappointing. You know, maybe a 9-7 on a team that you thought could go 12-4, maybe a 9-7 year, something like that. Like last year, the Seahawks, very disappointing. I remember when they made the trade for Sheldon Richardson. I remember driving home to my house at lunch when they made the Sheldon Richardson trade, thinking, okay, I'm getting ready for another Super Bowl run. 9-7. Disappointing year. Didn't make the playoffs. Disappointing. It was still